it took everything in us to just go against the current of life to make this happen. And now we're so close, 1 month out. And if you are starting this process or you're a year out or you just have this nudge, I just encourage you keep tuning back into that, knowing it's there for a reason. Leaving the US to travel abroad, we thought we had planned for everything. Somehow, this last month still caught us off guard. Even though we're in rural Wisconsin, this turned out to be the most expensive month by far of at least the foreseeable next year of our travels. I want to share what things cost exactly, what caught us off guard, and a few tips that I have so that you can be prepared if you are getting ready to travel abroad or travel full time. So, after we left the house that first week, that was tough. We closed on the house after sticking to a to do list so tightly and making sure everything was pulled off so we could sell everything we own, close on the house, get everything taken care of. Thankfully, things started to look up from there, and I'll talk about that more later. So, about 5 weeks ago, we drove out of our driveway for the last time. This beautiful house tucked in the forest. Also, the last time we'll drive over this bridge in the St. Croix River Valley. We spent the last 5 weeks living in a hotel, working out of the local library, making makeshift desks in our beds, just getting really creative on every aspect of life. One of my favorite things was the walk to and from the library that we would often take, and just taking in the surroundings, getting used to walking more and being part of the local community a little bit more when we could. I was finding the novelty of sitting in a hotel room all day was wearing off really quickly. Not only does it wear off, but let me break down the actual costs of what the last month cost us. Now, keep in mind, we're in rural Wisconsin. This is nothing glamorous, and we were trying to live as below our means as we could. So, our hotel for the month, for just from July 6th through the 31st, so not even a full month, was $2,914. Food came in at $650 for the month. Now, keep in mind, with that, we had free breakfast at our hotel every day. We had about $300 in Menards rebates that we were able to use for some snacks, some nuts, sometimes some soft drinks or milk, things like that. And we also had a couple gift cards that we had bought around Christmas time when they were all on sale that we saved until summer. So that was a few meals as well. And we had a couple people take us out to dinner, and still came in at $650 for 3 of us. Gas for our car came in at $192. Last minute supplies, some clothing, miscellaneous things was another $220. For reoccurring monthly costs that we'll just have going forward, things like life insurance and some of our streaming services, homeschooling costs, that came to $324. We had another $400, and that included our final internet bill, electric bill, and car insurance costs. So our total for July for rural Wisconsin was $4,866. And we had a home for the first week. So we virtually spent no money that first week, and that was still our total. So once we start traveling abroad, just to compare, our goal is to spend around $2,500 or less of travel expenses plus our reoccurring costs. It may be a little more in places like Japan, but should be a lot less in places like the Philippines or Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, some of those places. So you can see why having a month close to home where you know everything already, everything's familiar. Bruce is working every day. He still had his work truck, so his like gas to and from work wasn't even included in that. It was simply running errands, catching up with people, taking care of some last minute things that we've had to take care of that just led to all of those costs. So my biggest advice would be the month after you move out of your place, or when you're in this in between time of when you wrap up one big part of life, but you're not quite in the next part of life, expect a range of emotions. What's worked for us really well is we have been journaling a lot of talking about our feelings, really allowing each other space to feel all the feelings, knowing that we can all be really excited about what we're doing and also really have to process and explore some grief with letting go of an old life, fears, uncertainties, and allow each other room without feeling like we're all on a roller coaster. And so I think we've done a really good job at checking in with each other to just process those feelings and help each other. And luckily, for the most part, none of us have all felt them at the same time. So we can all kind of carry each other through. Another thing for us, because we have such a big goal and there's so much uncertainty with it, we really try to keep our spending in check while we were here as much as we possibly could. We ate a lot of meals at the hotel, even microwave meals, making sandwiches, PBs and J's, just getting really creative because we know that every meal that we could save on here is potentially 2 or 3 meals overseas that we could have, or just having money for uncertain things that come up. So that was really important to us to try to just be really wise with our money and be very intentional with it. So also within this last month, I have been working really hard to get caught up on my business, get ahead in every area. I've done my website over, just redone all the pages in that. I've been really getting caught up in my Etsy shop and really setting my business up for some systems that I can maintain then along the way. So I really took advantage of this last month, working a ton to get those things up to date, as well as just life things. We have a lot of paperwork that needed to be taken care of and life things, making sure everything is handled. So now that I'm really feel like I got a lot of time to put into my work, Bruce is done working now. He is finished. He's early retired. Aspen's done working. And so now we've really turned a corner. And I am going to have to lean in more to very strategic work times and a little bit more learning how to be in my body in the moment. I'm a planner, and so learning how to completely relax is one of my big goals, but I know I'm have to start now. And I've been getting better at it, but it's just a very conscious thing. We leave this week for South Dakota, where we are domiciling and have an address there to get our driver's license, library cards, things like that. So I'll do a little bit in our next video about what that was like or coming up maybe a couple weeks from now and really recap that process. So far, we've had our mail forwarded, a few things just destroyed, scanned. It's worked out really well. And so it'll be really nice. Now we have proof of our address in South Dakota that we can take that paperwork and go get our licenses. So 1 month out, one thing I wasn't expecting is after we left the house, everything we own fits in our car. I have I have about 2 suitcases of clothing still, and I'm kind of going through. As we get closer, I'll make the final cut what makes the one piece of luggage. Some of it's just weight fluctuations and eating wrong foods in a hotel, not moving enough, some of that kind of stuff. I really thought I'd be better about that. And one thing I'm realizing is not having a home or a whole identity that's part of your like life package. It feels, I don't know what the right term is, but all I have right now is what like this. And so I'm just feeling the pressure a little bit more, or the encouragement. Encouragement's a better word, not pressure. But to go get my hair cut coming up and just colored, really kind of taking care of my body a little bit better. I always put it on the last priority, and I recognize, like, even what I wear, that is the impression. Nobody's going to know me by the house that I live in, the job that I have, where my kid goes to school. Like, there's none of that. It's literally, as much as I don't identify with like the physical presentation, it's the reality. And so I'm really quite like just gonna have to embrace that a little bit and fall into it, whatever that means. I'm noticing myself trying to be a little bit more aware of it. I've been so out of touch with it because it couldn't even make the priority scale. And we'll see what that looks like, or what happens. But that's something I didn't expect that's come up, where suddenly I'm like, oh, I need to dress a little bit better because I'm meeting these people, or I interact with people, and I have no other things in life that represent me. Um, so this is kind of it. So I don't know. I don't really care about that stuff at all, but yet I know it's the reality of the world. So we'll see. I can feel it up there percolating a little bit. Whatever is going to come of it, I don't know. We'll see. The other thing that I've noticed is a very intentional thought process and feeling of challenging the status quo. When you tell people you are selling everything, or you've sold everything, and you are going to travel the world, without even meaning to, people can kind of dump their fears on you. And they can, wow, you're really brave. Are you sure? Do you have enough money? Are you panicked? Are you all the things? And having to really kind of tune into our knowing and not take on their fears. And I genuinely believe that we are going to have an amazing experience. It will be hard at times. I'm not expecting it to be easy, but it's not a really rash decision. And I guess tuning into our own knowing, our own path, there's a very empowering feeling that comes from trusting yourself and listening to this nudging that we've been getting for years and going for it. It's like walking a fine line all the time of not judging other people for not wanting to do it. Of course, it's not everybody's dream. And also not passing on our own, some of the reasons we want to leave, to not vomit that back out either. And most of it's just simply really wanting time together. It's an affordable way to do that, to kind of geo arbitrage ourselves and set ourselves up in a way where our money goes further, have a little bit more time to relax into that experience, and also just get to explore, learn about other cultures, art history, everything, foods of the world, and spend time together. So I have noticed very intentionally, I've had to really grip onto our own knowing and not allow the fears of people we meet, people that have known us forever, or simply the world. Sometimes it reminds me of the movie The Truman Show, where he's in the travel office and all the posters on the wall are scary, fear-driven posters. Once you're aware of it, you see how often we're taught to be afraid of the out there-ness. And I have not found that to be the case. Everywhere we've gone has been lovely, and people are lovely everywhere, and there are bad people everywhere. And we simply don't attract a lot of bad, and I don't intend to, and just trusting that. I think too, something that I have felt is I have been through enough drama and just crap in my life, hard times and loss, and been on the brunt end of some negative, horrible things. And I refuse to feel bad for feeling really good and working really hard towards making this goal happen. I am not going to feel guilty about it. We've come full circle and made a life for ourselves, and I'm so excited about that. And so I don't want to diminish it like it was no big deal. It took everything in us to just go against the current of life to make this happen. And now we're so close, 1 month out. And if you are starting this process or you're a year out or you just have this nudge, I just encourage you keep tuning back into that, knowing it's there for a reason. Just keep educating yourself, learning about people who are doing it, finding ways you can make money remotely, finding ways that you can learn about other places and cultures so that the fear goes away. I'll put a couple videos in the description that I have about dispelling fears that are based on just not having enough knowledge. Because there are so many that we're taught to be afraid of, and really it's just some research that can help get past those. And then also just how can you make money so that you can pull this off? Or do you have enough money? Once you're not looking at the American system, your money can go really far in so many other places. Maybe it's way closer than you think it is. One of the things I'm working on and I'm going to offer this coming spring is my Dare to Dream course. It's my signature course, and it is all about, it's everything this channel represents, really, but how to dream big and tune into yourself and know that dream. And then how do you make it happen? How do we work through the fears around that dream? How do we get really honest with ourselves and step into it, embody it, align ourselves with it? I have opened up the waitlist for when that opens in the spring, so I will put that link in the description. This is a course, and it's also, I had an experience where I led a group of women through Italy a few years back before I went back to school, and it was just such a magical experience. And I'm so excited to do this curriculum again now that I have time again after getting through school. And yeah, I hope you'll take a look at it. It's so great. I just love it so much. So I'll end with this. Nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's going to come down and grant you permission to make your dreams happen. Your dreams may not be traveling full time. They might be big or they might be small, loud or quiet. You have to just listen to that voice and nourish it and believe in it and find people who will support you with it. Feed yourself knowledge. Keep building up that muscle, because often we don't get these nudges and this reoccurring thought if it's not something that's aligned with our path. And sometimes the timing doesn't feel quite right, but you just keep preparing behind the scenes for it. It took me years to make this dream happen for us, years of selling stuff, decluttering, realigning our income, saving every penny we could to pull this off. And now I can't even believe that we are 1 month out. I, the years, like I picture years ago sitting in the living room crying because I wanted this so bad and Bruce wasn't ready yet. Or just trying to figure out how we can make this life happen and not being sure how it was going to happen. And I had to just surrender a little bit and instead focus on the work to align our lives to it and just kind of release it a little bit. And then I watched it come full circle right back into our lives again. And now here we are 1 month out. So I hope you'll stick with me. We're so close now, and I will keep doing these videos even after we're traveling and sharing the process, not just once we're in these glamorous places, but the rural Wisconsin side, the sacrifices, the hard, tough grit you have to have when nobody's watching, and those that are watching are judging and kind of uncertain about what you're doing. But just believing in yourself is so powerful. So I know you're here for a reason, and I'm so glad that you are. And I thank you for being here, and I'm cheering you on in whatever your dream is. Have a wonderful day. Bye.